Welcome back to Florida Powerboat Club's YouTube channel. This is Stu Jones with our producer Ryan McCoy in the Pompano Beach studios. And guys, we are having fun because we are just cranking through our video archives from 2021, making our way now into episode number 2 of the Bahamas Poker Run, the 30th edition, which went from South Florida over to Bimini, Chub Cay, and to Nassau. So let's get back to the fun. But before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. Florida Powerboat Club's 2021 series sponsors include Blackwater Boats and their sister company, Deep Impact Boats, along with their exclusive worldwide dealer, Plantation Boat Mart. Midnight Express Powerboats, Mercury Racing Wide Open, Mystic Powerboats, Myco Custom Trailers, Nortec High Performance Boats, Performance Boat Center, and our official prize sponsor, Superior Communications, providing us with Garmin and Icon products as prizes for our Poker Run events. Now, in our last episode, we pretty much ran through the entire agenda, leaving from Miami, crossing the Gulf Stream, arriving in Bimini, and then continuing on to Chub Cay, where we stopped for fuel and lunch. And then, of course, we made that last crossing over to Nassau, and we showcased one of our new destination resorts, which is the Margaritaville Resort in Nassau. But I know what you guys all came for, and that is those high-speed aerials as we cross over the Gulf Stream. So we saved a big chunk of video from that crossing, which was Friday morning. So let's backtrack and catch up with our teams now. And we're going to start things off with Delaney Walker, who's an NFLer who we all know very well, playing with the Tennessee Titans for years, but in his past time, he likes to play around with the powerboats, and he's got himself this beautiful 50-foot Outer Limits. It's an SV50 powered by Mercury Racing 1100 1350s, and he is just having some fun today. This is really just close to Miami as we got started on Friday morning. You can see the sun off to the east as he makes that turn to catch up with us in the rendezvous zone, which is where we're going to start the event. And now I'm going to spend a little time with Stephen and Kelly Moreno in their brand new 39-foot Nortec team, Calm Down. And it's been a kind of an exciting start for them. You know, they just got the boat. They've done 3 in a row now. They started off with the Nortec Owners Rally back at the end of April. In the middle of May, we saw them on the Orange Beach Powerboat Week event in Alabama, which is actually home for them, so it was just a hop, skip, and a jump. But they made their way about 600 miles after that, coming from Auburn, Alabama, all the way down to South Florida to join us for this event. This, of course, a brand new 2021 Nortec 390 Sport, powered by triple Mercury Racing 450s, custom built to their very own specs. What is it they love about powerboating? They say just being with people who have the same passion that we enjoy. Well, indeed, they really do enjoy this passion for powerboating. Their other boat, of course, it's a 35-foot DCB with 1100s, about 150 mile an hour playboat, but today it's going to be this offshore V-bottom, ideal for the Bahamas. And let's say hi to the Andersons, Roger and Pam Anderson, very loyal to this powerboating lifestyle, and so much so that this is their second Nortec 390 Sport. And just like the boat you saw earlier, this is a 2021 model, brand new, and the only difference is it's powered by quad Mercury Racing 450s. And let's say hi to Stephen and Maria Matafari in Team Mindset. This is a 2019 33-foot Renegade center console. What's their favorite thing about powerboating? They say family time, just being on the water, destination planning, sandbars, restaurants, and camaraderie. Well, I'd say they came to the right event because we're going to have all of that on this 30th annual Bahamas Run. And, of course, it's another Nortec. You're going to see a lot of this 390 Sport model, and especially on these FBC events. All the way from the factory, Terry Sobo and his wife Chrissy on their own personal Nortec 390 Sport. And it's great to have some factory representation here on this event. You know, Nortec are a very big player in the Florida Powerboat Club family. And as far as I can see, if you've been to their factory lately, they're just on fire. So happy to have Terry Sobo here joining us to represent Nortec. And we would normally like to call this our money shot as we do our official start here from Government Cut. A little bit hazy today, so we're not really getting the watercolors and that beautiful blue sky that we always hope for, but it does show off the fleet quite nicely. If you can't count them all, I'll make it a little easier for you. There are 23 boats registered for the event, and of course 1 or 2 of them are not pictured here because they went off on their own course from different inlets, and they're going to meet us over in Bimini. And now getting a little time with Rob and Christy Lockyer and Team Caftivo. That's a 44-foot Mystic Cat. Mercury Racing 1100. It's a pretty nice package. Just recently purchased this boat from another club member, very recently. So I think this is probably one of his first or maybe second poker run. And, I'd say it's one of the biggest cats that we've seen on a Bahamas poker run in quite some time. Interesting piece of geography. They made a huge transit to join us. They actually have a home in Wales in the United Kingdom, and they got on a plane and came over just so that they could attend the poker run. Looks like Rob's got on the throttles now. He's going to put on a little show. And I just had to note that in his video bio, he said that the boat handled the rough excellent. And indeed, now we have proof of that because the boat is just cranking through this chop. And now it's time to say hello to Stephen Sweet from Fort Lauderdale, Team Sweet Spot. It's a 42-foot Scout. This is a 2016. They call it the LXF model. And this one powered by Quad Mercury 350s. I want to say that of all the center consoles we've seen in the club, very rarely do you see anything with this much beam and this much flare of the bow. This is an extremely dry boat, and it's a heavy boat too. So you can just see how Stephen is just crushing these waves. And if you look closely, none of that water is going anywhere near the cockpit. So it's going to be probably the driest boat that's going to be joining us on the run today. Now, very coincidentally, I must say, and it's not pictured here, but there's another one just like it, a sister ship, another 42 Scout that's joining us on the run. They came from Port Everglades, though, Frank and Grazia Bulti. So we're not going to see them right now, but we will see them when we arrive in Bimini. And another boat that does a great job with the rough water. And he's even got his LEDs on. John Kosker from the factory of Mystic Powerboats. He's got his whole family on board today and really having a lot of fun with this new 42 because he had it in Orange Beach just a couple of weeks earlier. And I don't know if you guys remember those episodes, probably 3 or 4 episodes ago, where John had the throttles pegged and was just cruising along the coastal waters in the Gulf of Mexico, putting on a great show. And a little more time now with Delaney Walker in his 50-foot Outer Limits Team Strictly Business. A beautiful boat, SV50, Mercury Racing 1100 1350s, and a boat that has been on the Key West Poker Run before. And Delaney recently got his hands on the boat. It's a second owner. And I think it's really impressive how Delaney had the courage to say, you know what, I'm bringing this thing to the Bahamas, because we really don't see these kind of boats going on these Bahamas runs very often. So nice to see this Outer Limits join us for the run this weekend. Great shot here as we close in on the teams. You can see the sun is starting to get a little higher in the sky, and hopefully it's going to burn off this haze a little bit and clear things up. Now we're going to ride along with Anthony Bertozzi, who's from Virginia, but he's also got a home in Fort Lauderdale. We've seen this boat a lot on Florida Powerboat Club events, but it's their very first time joining us to the Bahamas. And let us spend some time with Bruce Prescott now in his brand new Mystic 38 Quad Mercury 300s. I think it's a great power package for this boat, and I love the colors. It's kind of impressive that he came all the way from Jupiter to Miami to join us for the run, and then after the Bahamas run, he ran it all the way back to Jupiter again. And at one point, I was riding alongside this boat and noticing just how great it looked, so it was my choice to give Bruce the Best Center Console Award for the Bahamas run. And going to spend a little more time now with Roger and Pam, also in their 39 Nortec, their second one, Team Wild Horses with Quad Mercury Racing 450s, all the way from Texas, and diehard boaters. They've been in the club for as long as I can remember, probably about 15 years. Back then, it was a 42 Fountain. Still a little overcast, but the rain is holding off, and that's all that really matters. And starting to get it just a little bumpy out here in the Gulfstream as we join the Project 1080. I was happy to have the entire family on board for this event. The kids just got out of high school for the summer break, and about 2 days earlier, so it was a Jones family vacation. And I see a lot of those comments in the video bios about how much people enjoy making boating a family affair, and that is indeed what the Morenos are doing. They have their 2 twin daughters joining them, and they pretty much join them on all of the poker runs that they attend, so I can't think of a better way to enjoy the new family Nortec. And we're continuing the Nortec Owners Rally. Just kidding. Tom Taylor here now, Team T-Bank. Tom Taylor, who's been with us now for just over a year on these club events. He's got Quad Mercury Racing 400s on this one. I love the blue and the silver. They've got the boat dialed in nicely and seem to be having a great ride through this rough chop. And a little more time now with Terry Sobo and wife Chrissy. And I didn't really mention it earlier, but you know, a big shout out to Terry because he's been a big part of the Florida Powerboat Club family for so many years. He jumped around to a couple of different manufacturers through the years. We all know that, but it looks like his feet have landed firmly on Nortec soil over in Cape Coral, Florida, where he and his wife Chrissy live. So I'm glad that they were all able to join us for this event because Nortec hasn't been letting any of their employees out of the factory lately. They're so busy. Let's say hi to Rob and Cynthia Bulware at their first Bahamas run with the club. They've done a few poker runs going back to as far as the Tampa Bay poker run, but their first big Gulfstream crossing in this Sensation 40 CCX. Well, we hope that we saved you enough aerial video for this episode, guys. We wanted to mix it up between the last 2 shows, but the bad news now is that sadly we must say goodbye to the helicopter as the rest of us will continue on that eastbound heading. I think we've got about 35 miles to go to reach Bimini, and we're just going to slow things down and manage this chop and get there safely. So let's fast forward to, I think this is Monday now. Of course, we've already reached Bimini and gone on to Chub Cay and then to Nassau. We're now on board with Team Darkseid, a 37-foot Axopar, which made its maiden voyage here on this event. Club member Rob Rill, the owner, and a big crew on board as well. He's got a captain, a Stu, and a lot of friends on board, and somebody who's very talented with a camera and a drone. So we joined them by getting this footage by default. We feel like we were there now. But they took a little side trip from Nassau over to, I believe it was Rose Island, and went snorkeling. And this is these are some of the highlights from that little getaway. And what a cool looking boat that Axopar is. It really does have a lot of room on it for a 37-foot center console. Pair of Mercury 400 Verados, and I think I told the story in the last episode about how Rob had ordered 450s for the boat. They didn't come in, so he scrambled around and got himself a pair of motors just a few days before the poker run so that he could join us on this event. So I'm glad that they took the initiative to get out and enjoy these beautiful waters here near Rose Island. I see just a handful, maybe 3 or 4 other boats here at the anchorage doing the very same thing. Of course, this was now the Monday. Remember, we traveled on Sunday from Bimini to Chub and then over to Nassau. It was kind of a bumpy ride, and a lot of us just decided to hang back and enjoy our time on the land. But understand that this is a very adventurous crew, and they were locked and loaded to have some fun. So that's a little E-foil that Rob likes to ride around on. They had it running around in Bimini. We saw that in our last episode, but quite the toy to add to your arsenal of water toys for any boat. And with this drone shot, we'll close things off by saying this is truly the powerboating in paradise lifestyle here, enjoying it in the Bahamas. Now at the very same time on Project 1080, we had kind of a smaller little getaway. We circled the island once and got some fuel, and then on our way back to the Margaritaville, we thought we'd stop off and cruise on into Atlantis Resort and check out the scene. We did have some boats that stayed over here at Atlantis. It's always been trouble to get a lot of slips in here, but I see a lot of open slips here on the right-hand side as we come in, so we probably could have had some more boats over here, I'm guessing, as we return to Atlantis in 2022 for the Bahamas Poker Run. We've already been promised a fair number of slips here, so that is our intent for this coming event. We're going to probably return to Atlantis. Now, these colorful buildings in the background, that's part of Atlantis. We stayed here the last time we visited Atlantis. Our family stayed in one of those units, and they're right beside the marina. Quite nice. I think they call it Harborside or Harbor Village, something like that. So interesting that that's another option. Rather than staying in the big towers on the main property, I just think it's a good alternative for boaters who want to be much, much closer to their boat and to the marina. It was in the late 90s that the Florida Powerboat Club actually started to visit Atlantis, and it was a popular destination for us for at least a couple years in a row. So it'd be nice to return there for 2022. Making our way back over to Margaritaville, where we're going to settle in for the night, and the scheduled departure for the event is going to be Tuesday morning. We're going to take off and head back across the Bahama Bank to Bimini and then back to mainland. And one of our highlights that I wanted to share with you was dinner at the Grey Cliff. It's a world-famous restaurant and hotel right in the heart of Old Nassau. In fact, it was only about a 10-minute walk for us who stayed over at the Margaritaville Resort. I've been here many times over the years, and it's just one of these charmful places that never gets old. It's like hanging out in somebody's living room. So let us just listen in and kind of enjoy the ambiance of this world-famous Grey Cliff Hotel and Restaurant. Let's have to get a little shot of this. The cigar was excellent, by the way. The first one was great, and I'm going to have another one after dinner. Thank you.
Hi, Stu.
Simon? Yeah. It was a wonderful way to finish off our visit to Nassau, and the following day we were back on the waterways heading home. Well, it's just another adventure with the Florida Powerboat Club. We're going to be shooting a series of videos all by myself here as we nurse the Project 1080 back to Bimini. Blew a Port Bravo drive maybe about an hour ago, just around 12 noon. It's almost 1 o'clock now. Didn't really want to have the family on board for a 10-hour idle all the way to Bimini. 60 miles, the GPS tells me, to the concrete ship. Managing about 6.5 to 7 miles per hour. So about a 10-hour ride puts me into the Sapona at about 11 o'clock tonight. Just lots of water on board, 2 bags of snacks. I could stand to miss a meal, but I felt a lot safer putting my family with one of the other boats. I know a lot of people who have done this many, many times, and it's really no big deal. Just keep the other motor running for steering and for electrical support. When I'm not running the Ford motor, I don't get the power I need. So I'm only burning about 8 gallons an hour at that rate, and I've got pretty much about 180 gallons, so I'm in good shape there. Well, it's 4 o'clock, as you can see from my watch, and this is it, kind of what the view that I'm getting. I've had now for the past 4 hours. You out here in the middle of the Bahama Bank, and there really isn't much going on out here. It's about a little after 7 p.m. and I'm thinking I've probably got about 3 hours to go. Get in at around 10 o'clock. So far, so good. Just hope that weather doesn't become an issue. Time for an update. We took a day off, just relaxed in Bimini for a day as we waited to be dispatched by Sobo US for a tow back. Not much chance I'd be able to get parts and do the repair in Bimini. Even Bravo XR parts are hard to come by right now with the backup at Mercury Racing. So no big deal. That's why I have a Sobo US membership. And we made arrangements for a Thursday morning rendezvous, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. I'm about maybe 2 miles off the shoreline of South Bimini, and this avoids having them to go in and clear customs and such. So that's kind of a smart way to do it. So I have the peace of mind knowing that I'm just going to be sitting back today with, you know, basically the engine's off. I'll probably keep the keys on, turn the stereo on, I won't be driving the boat. I'll just be hanging on for a bumpy ride because they're calling for 15-mile-an-hour winds out of the east and probably 3 to 4 foot seas. But at least, yeah, a shorter ride. It's going to be about 52 miles to Haulover Inlet. And at this point, you know, I'm feeling very safe and very comfortable and the peace of mind knowing that I'm with capable hands of Towboat US. So, going to be a nice day here. Got some rain over to my starboard side, some heavy storms and lightning, but they're moving to the west, and fortunately nothing behind us, nothing that I can see from the east, and everything, the systems are moving to the east. So I know we have rain in the forecast today, but yeah, I might get wet, but I think we're going to be fine. Well, we're out in the middle of the Gulf Stream right about now, 32 miles to Haulover Inlet. Big storm opened up on us, a little bit of lightning, but a lot of rain. Of course, I decided to come inside even though the Bimini top is up. Well, having a fun ride here under tow by Towboat US on this beautiful Thursday. Actually, it's a terrible Thursday. It's been raining the whole way. I had to actually go down in the cabin for a while because I couldn't even stay dry under the canvas. The rain was coming in from the front and the sides. It was getting pretty wet out here, but over my shoulder I can see land. I can see Miami along the highway. We're making in through that famous Haulover Inlet now. Not the way I'd like to come in Haulover Inlet, but I just happened to notice that Wavy Boats posted our video from when we went out last Friday morning, and we look pretty good. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad. But what they've done here at Towboat US, we stopped about a mile offshore, and they shortened up that tow line. Important to do so because it's such tight quarters here in the inlet, and it's easy with a long line for the tow to get out of whack. They might be running down the center of the channel and my boat might be over there on the rocks with all the current and the water movement here. Still pretty rough in the inlet. Fortunately, Wavy Boats and Boat Zone and Haulover Boats and Zip Zap, all those guys, well, they're not here on this Thursday because it's Thursday and it's not very nice out. So I think we're going to get in under the wire. Nobody's going to know that I got towed home, except you guys. So shh, don't tell anybody, okay? Okay, so thanks for hanging out with me here. Stu Jones on the Florida Powerboat Club channel, showing you what it's really like to go boating every once in a while. Happy that you guys could join us here on this Bahamas Poker Run. Oh, 30th edition. Oh my goodness. And thanks to all of our Florida Powerboat Club members for joining us. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Well, thank you for joining us for this coverage of the 30th annual Bahamas Poker Run, which had slightly unusual circumstances surrounding that last, the ending part of the trip. But we enjoy having you guys, and we appreciate all your comments. So please be sure to catch the next episode. We're going to go right into the Emerald Coast Powerboat Week, which I believe had a tremendous outcome shifting to our new dates in September. So you don't want to miss those episodes. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that red button, and also click that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We have got a fantastic year planned for 2021 with members of the Florida Powerboat Club, so stay with us. Meanwhile, We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones along with our producer Ryan McCoy in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.